Hey guys, welcome to my first ever video. I stand here in the very center of Hyrule at the highest altitude, admiring the vastness that we have all been blessed with. Today I will make my own accomplishment of circumnavigating the skies of Hyrule under intimidating conditions to make my challenge even more interesting. I want to make it clear that I'm not the first one to attempt this, but I want to master this challenge myself. To start off, here's the layout. My goal is to start in the Gerudo region and stick close to the edge so that I can maximize on covering area. What you see here on the map will be as close as I can get to. I'll make my way back to where I started to finish the circumnavigation. The location I've specifically chosen? The Lightning Temple in the Gerudo Desert. It's perfect for takeoff and landing. To make this even more challenging, I've come up with some pretty heavy restrictions of my own. After takeoff, I will not touch the ground or make any kind of contact with the surface. This obviously excludes landing for when I arrive back at the temple. I will not descend below 1,000 meters during flight. Once I cross over that altitude, I'm staying up there until it's time to land. I will not lose physical contact of the aircraft, to include falling off, gliding, diving, or paragliding. If I fall off this thing completely, it's over. I will not touch any of the sky islands or any of the invisible map boundaries. And lastly, I will not use any Zonai charges, any battery devices, or any Zonai armor. I had been working on several prototypes to create the most efficient aircraft to accomplish this task. Upon weeks, I finally got it perfected to my precise specifications. After my patent went through, I had the final product slowly airdropped to the top of the Lightning Temple from the Hyrule Engineering and Manufacturing Facility. All of the materials were professionally expedited to this location for this accomplishment. Service done right. Taking this box apart, I can see that all of my components were accounted for, fresh out of the factory. As I walked closer, I spotted something in the box with all of the parts, and lo and behold, my patented technical data manual. I mean, this thing has so much information in it. Dimensions and specifications, how it's built, flight controls and functions, and the different orientations that it flies in. Velocity specifications, energy consumption, in-flight maintenance. My favorite part has got to be at the end, where there's a QR code for Link to download into his auto build directly into his favorites. I've got all of the materials, and now I'm currently building this thing, ready to take on the circumnavigation. This is WYLIA. This aircraft is a masterpiece for Hyrulean aviation. It's very light in weight, its speed is pretty decent, and its maneuverability is optimal for this type of challenge. You'll notice that it has 3 steering sticks on top that are used to shift me in different directions, as well as increasing and decreasing altitude. This thing is designed to get you anywhere you want to go in the skies. My course is clear. I have the goal, the path, the rules, the craft. I will hold my integrity to make this challenge authentic and successful as possible. Tomorrow, I will circumnavigate the skies of Hyrule. Tomorrow, we wake at dawn. We leave at high noon. One of the first things I'm going to do here is do an inventory check on how many Zonai charges and how many battery devices I have on hand. That way I can prove that I haven't used any of it during the flight. And here on the map, let me pull up Heroes Path mode. You can see that there is no trace of any kind of circumnavigation done. When I get to the end, I'll do a playback to show that it's been successfully done. On a side note, just to let you know, I don't have a capture card to record longer videos, so I've had to record 30-second videos at a time. I've recorded all of my segments pretty close together to retain some sense of continuity. And yes, putting all of these videos together was extremely tedious. I'll go ahead and pull out a hoverstone, that way I can mount the aircraft on top of it. Provides just enough clearance for the aircraft to be off the ground and make liftoff a lot easier. One more thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to eat a 30-minute cold resistant meal, not because we're going to be in higher altitudes, but also to have some sort of timestamp on the screen so that it's synchronized with the in-game clock. And with that, we'll go ahead and take off. I'm going to go ahead and switch back so that I can get at a higher altitude. So I've just crossed over my 1,000-meter mark, and I'm going to go ahead and use recall to recharge my energy cells, since I won't be using any Zonai charges. You're going to be seeing me do this a lot, so I'll try to keep it to a minimum for the video. I'm going to go ahead and do another recall charge right here. I'll go ahead and switch back to gain some altitude as well. You can see here on the map that I'm getting ready to clear the Sky Labyrinth. And for all the Sky Islands you see on the map, I'll just try to fly as close as possible to cover more area without hitting any boundaries. Some of these segments, I'm going to speed through them, that way it's not so monotonous. So you can see here on the map that I'm getting ready to make my first biggest turn here around that island in the corner of the map where King Gliok is. Fortunately, I'm like really high up, so he won't be able to see me, so I should be good. And I want to make sure that my turn is sharp enough so that I don't hit the boundary. So it's getting to be that time where I need to put a new shock emitter on. So I'm going to go ahead and get in position here. So the reason that I put a new one on is because the old one is about to despawn here real soon. Shock emitters last 30 minutes long, so by the time the old one despawns, I'll already have the new one on, and I can continue the flight. The in-flight maintenance is what makes this circumnavigation possible, being able to extend your flight for long periods of time. In the beginning of the next clip, here in a few seconds, you can hear the shock emitter despawn. Making my second largest turn here in the northeastern corner of the map. I'm going to go ahead and install my last shock emitter on early so that during my descent towards the landing zone, I'm not worried about it dying on me right before my approach. I realized at this point that I'm too high up and that I need to start decreasing my altitude. These low gravity areas are making it a lot more difficult to drop down further. As you can see, I'm having to constantly use recall drops to go down further, because by the time I reach the highlands, I'm supposed to be near the mountain's surface. Bad judgment on my part with the altitude dropping, but we're getting pretty close to the lightning temple, and I've dropped low enough to land on top of it once I get closer. I've done some flight path calculations, and by this point next to the shrine, I should be near 1,150 meters to land on top of the temple. I think I've ended up using too many recall drops, so we'll see when I get closer. The moment of truth, and now I'm too low. Successful touchdown crash to the LZ. There you have it. Let's take a look at the map. I'll go ahead and do a playback in reverse. I forgot to show the sky map, but if you look closely, you can see the faint path here on the surface map. No contact with the ground, sky islands, nor any boundaries. I stayed above 1,000 meters during flight. I did not fall off the aircraft. No zonite charges, no batteries, No Zonite armor were used for the duration of the flight. I ended up running out of space to record more videos, so I had to delete some older videos to make more space, hence the shorter segments during the landing scene. I was too focused on trying to find out if I was too low or too high and ended up flying for a bit without a timestamp at the top. So I managed to eat a meal that put 5.5 minutes on the clock, in case you were wondering. I managed to start a stopwatch the second I started my takeoff. This all includes the inventory checks, the map checks, even when I was deleting the old videos to make room. I got overzealous when I landed and forgot to pause the stopwatch, so there's a bit of a rollover on some extra time. If anyone wants to take this challenge, I implore you to beat my time with your own build. The skies belong to us, but so far, the record is mine for now. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.